Hi everyone and welcome to Book Boop. My name is Rachel and Happy New Year, you guys. I am so excited. It is finally 2021. We have left the dumpster fire of 2020 behind us. I realize that this is not a magical restart. I know that all our problems don't just magically disappear on January 1st, but it just feels like a refreshing start, and I'm very hopeful and prayerful that 2021 will be a much better year than 2020 was. Also, I realized I have a mishmash of seasons going on right now. Yes, you are not seeing things. This is a pumpkin t-shirt. There are all sorts of different pumpkins all over it. My sister-in-law got it for me for Christmas and I adore it, so I'm wearing it right now. Also, I have Christmas lights and a little Christmas tree still up. I have not taken down my Christmas decorations yet. So yes, it's a mishmash of seasons. I have crazy fluffy hair and it's going to be a good time. I'm glad you're here. Let's go ahead and jump into the books I'm hoping to read in January. I've got a pretty ambitious TBR per the usual because I'm hoping to crush the Goodreads goal of 100 books this year, I hope. But the first book I am currently reading, and I started in December, is Tomb of Ancients by Madeleine Roux. This is the third book in the House of Fury series. I'm almost done with this series. I'm halfway through it right now, and I'm going to be honest, I'm hating it. I don't like it. I really want to DNF it. But I paid for this book. I bought this book, so I'm going to read this book. So I absolutely adored the book House of Furies. In that book, we are following this girl who was at this orphanage, and she was really unhappy there. She was being trained to become a governess, and that was what she was planning to do until one day she can't take it anymore. She runs away, ends up finding this old manor called Cold Thistle House. It's a place where rich people come to get better if they've been feeling sick or get away from the city life and to rest. So she ends up working there and being a maid at this basically big old bed and breakfast. And takes place in the 1800s, by the way. And anyways, this particular manor seems nice at first, but she feels like there's something strange going on until she finds out, and this is in the description, I'm not spoiling you, she finds out that this house actually calls to people who are evil inside and have done something really bad, and they go there to get their comeuppance. So they go to this house, going there to rest and relax, but they never come out. They end up dying. They get murdered. It's awesome, and I loved it. There was ghosts involved, it was creepy, it was spooky, and I adored it. The second and third book are absolutely nothing like it, which is really depressing because I thought it was going to be a great new series for me. But I'm excited to finish this series and just put it behind me. I think upon the first book highly and fondly. If you are interested in that first premise, go for it. I think you actually would be fine just reading the first book and being able to leave it at that. So I highly recommend the first one. Just don't recommend the next two. But I'm almost done. All right. There are 7 more books here. All are, I've kind of put in an order of middle grade to YA to adult. I have a good mix here of different types of books. I'm excited to share them with you. The first one is called The Riverman by Starmer. This cover is absolutely gorgeous. This is a really whimsical sounding middle grade. So we follow this little boy who is kind of friends with everybody, and everybody really trusts him. He's a boy that a lot of people will go to tell them their secrets, and he will keep them and will not tell other people until this new little girl moves into town and tells him that she has gone to a magical place and that there is this dark person from this place who is taking children's souls and she needs his help. And he's trying to decide whether or not to believe her, and I think she ends up pulling him into this kind of magical and terrifying situation that she's in. It sounds really cool, really interesting. Might be some magical realism involved, I don't know, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun and I'm very excited about it. I love jumping into middle grades and magical whimsical tales. The next middle grade I have had on my anticipated reads list like 2 years ago and I still haven't read it, which is really embarrassing, and that is Ogre Enchanted by Gail, Carson, Levine. This is a prequel to Ella Enchanted, which is a book first, but also was made into a movie with Anne Hathaway, if you happen to see that. It is a Cinderella retelling, and I absolutely adore it. And this one, it sounds like it's almost like a Beauty and the Beast type retelling, or maybe even like a Shrek type thing. We're following this girl who I believe she turns down a marriage proposal because she doesn't want to marry the guy, and this fairy called Levine, I think. She's the original fairy from Ogre Enchanted, and she's the fairy that she thinks she's being helpful, but she gives really terrible gifts that are honestly more like curses. And so to help this girl out, she turns her into an ogre, and she will return back into her natural state once she finds someone who will love her, and she also loves in return. And that's the setup. There you go. I mean, it's pretty much standard procedure type of ogre Beauty and the Beast situation, but I think it's going to be a really good time. I'm excited to go back into this world of Ogre Enchanted because I absolutely adored the first book, and I'm excited to see what happens in this prequel. I think it's going to be good times. This next one is also another anticipated release for last year that I didn't get to, and I'm really embarrassed about it because I was really excited about it and then I never got to it. And that is Aurora Burning by Amie, Kaufman, and Kristoff. This is the second book in the Aurora Rising series. If you've never heard of this series before, we are following 6 or 7 different young adults who have all been smashed together to be a Starfleet crew. They are going to be commanding a ship and all together as a crew. They don't really want to work together. They don't really want to be together. They're all real quirky, but they have to work together. And once they become this crew and they jettison off into space, they end up finding themselves in the middle of a situation to where they need to save the universe. And it's so much fun. I love it. If you happen to read the Illuminae files by these two authors as well, it's funny, it's witty, it's fast-paced, it's high stakes, and I love it. And this is a lot of the same feel. Also, I love the fact that we actually get perspectives in all the different characters. Each chapter is a different perspective, and you get to see into the mind of every single character that we follow, and I love them, and it's just so fun and witty, and I cannot wait to see what happens in this second book, especially since the first book left a nice cliffhanger. So I'm excited to finally get back into it, and I can't believe it's taken me this long. It's kind of embarrassing. This next one, I believe, is an adult book. At least it's in the adult section at my library, and that is The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn, Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. This book sounds so fascinating to me. It kind of reminds me of Clue, but with a twist. So there is this party, and at this party, Evelyn Hardcastle is murdered. And then a kind of Groundhog Day situation happens where the day keeps repeating itself, and there is a guy that was at this party just trying to solve the murder, trying to find out who killed Evelyn Hardcastle. But the catch is every single day when the day restarts, he wakes up in another person's body who attended the party. It sounds really fascinating. So it's a day that repeats over and over. I heard it's a really fascinating mystery. Honestly, maybe slightly hard to follow. I've heard that too. But I've heard a lot of very good things about this, and I've been dying to read it for probably a couple years, and I'm very excited to jump into it. I think it's going to be a really fun mystery for those nice cold nights in January. This next book is another adult, and it's one that is honestly outside of my comfort zone because it is a contemporary, which is weird for me, but I'm very excited about it. And it is The Bookish Life of Nina Hill by Abbi Waxman. In this story, we are following, I assume, Nina Hill, and she's living a very bookish life. She works at a bookstore, she has a cat, and she loves to read, and she's perfectly happy being the introverted, book-reading, loving self that she is. Sounds a lot like me. Until her father, that she never met or was estranged, passes away, and she learns about this entire huge family of her dad's that she's never met. The thing now, though, is, I can't talk, I'm sorry, they now know about her and she knows about them, and apparently they all live close to where she lives, and they want to be a part of her life. They want to get to know her, and she realizes, oh no, I don't get to live my sweet little introverted life anymore. I have all these family members that want to be around me and talk to me, and on top of that, there's a guy that is very interested in her, and she just wants to be single and be left alone and read her books. So I'm excited to read this. The description makes it sound really funny and witty, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Just reading about a book nerd like myself sounds like a great time, and I love the idea of that. This next one, I'm just going to read the blurb for you because I really don't know what this book's about, but the blurb sounds so creepy and cryptic that I am super fascinated, and the cover is gorgeous. And that is Other Words for Smoke by Sarah Maria Griffin, and that cover looks so cool. And there's this really cool looking owl on the back. Just look at that. I love it. So here's the blurb. It says, in the house at the end of the lane, there is a darkness hiding in the walls, waiting, watching, consuming. It will devour everything you have, everything you are willing to give, and everything you are not. Watch yourself. If you aren't careful, it will all come tumbling down. sounds so creepy. That's literally the only description there is in this book. And I'm excited. I think it sounds really cool. So I'm pumped to try that one and just find out what on earth it's about. This last one is actually a graphic novel that I've been wanting to read for the longest time, and my library happened to have it. And it is Snow Glass Apples by Neil Gaiman. It is a Snow White retelling, I think with the idea that Snow White is actually the villain. And just from the cover, it looks like it's going to be a gorgeous art style. It's very, very thin, and I think will be a quick read. I know it's definitely adult, though. I think it has quite a few adult themes in it, so it's going to be pretty graphic in that way. But I'm very excited to see what it's about, and I'm wanting to get into some more Neil Gaiman. And I've never read any graphic novels by Neil Gaiman as well, even though I know he has this one. And I think he wrote Sandman as well. But I'm very excited about this one. I think it's going to be a nice, fun, creepy, dark retelling of Snow White, and I'm excited about it. So those are all the books that I'm planning to read in January, hopefully. I just really want to get into as many books as I possibly can and read a whole bunch because I have so many books I'm excited to read. Let me know down below what you're planning to read in January, and if you feel like I do and just ready to just crush that goal of reading and hopefully reading a lot this year. Just let me know how you're feeling about the new year and if you feel that fresh start feeling like I am. On this side of the video over here is my logo. If you click on that, you can subscribe to my channel and follow me in my book journey. On this side of the video over here is a suggestion for another video if you want to watch another one right now. But thank you so much for watching. You rock. Happy New Year. Don't forget to keep reading. Bye.